Welcome back to Consider This. Melisa and Sharaad here with you. Now, let's continue our in-depth look at the Kongres Maruah Melayu that happened yesterday, or the Malay Dignity Congress. Joining us on the line now, we have Haris Zuan, Junior Research Fellow with the Institute of Malaysian and International Studies at University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Haris, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, what did you make of the messaging coming out of the Congress and the reception to it?
Hi, thank you for having me. Basically, I think Mahathir just played to the gallery. There's nothing new. What he said by Mahathir yesterday, and I think there is no way we can get a accurate answer to that question, the response by the people in the ground. But however, judging from the comment and response in social media, I think it's safe to say that Malay and non-Malay not impressed by Mahathir's speech yesterday.
Right, it seems like perhaps different communities wanting different things from him. But I just want to draw attention to some of the things that have been reported. Khalid Nordin from UMNO said that, in fact, this entire Congress was a show put up by Dr. Mahathir for his own benefit, for his own political advantage. Whereas, you have somebody like Dr. Muhammad Faiz Naman, who is a part of the Bersatu Supreme Council. He's gone on to say in Sinaharian that he didn't think the Congress was a failure. He came out in some ways to defend Dr. Mahathir at the Congress. It's a really interesting mix of voices. Haris, what's your stand on it? Who put this together, do you think?
Well, I think, first of all, I think we must make it clear that university should not be government propaganda tools, especially one that sounds defensive and narrow, such as Malay Dignity, Maruah Melayu. And if you went to the Congress it's not just talking about Malays, it's also accusing the others. Then they use the word orang asing, pendatang, this kind of word to refer to the others. And I think this is not the way we should govern our university. Even though university have the right to carry out their own program, they should not be. It should be more intellectual and not loaded with emotions by taking up such themes. University have long been used as a tool to provide political legitimacy to government propaganda, and I think it's very unfortunate that the same thing occurs under the new government.
There's very interesting remarks made by some observers who were attending the Congress. They said groups like Persatuan Belia Dynamic Barat brought Form 4 students to the Congress. Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, which is kind of a microcredit organization, agency under the government, they brought thousands of people to the Congress as well. And then, because we had UiTM making it compulsory for students. So it does seem like there was some sort of coordinated effort, some of them coming from government agencies to support this Congress. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think there's nothing new that government agency university been used by government and for the political propaganda. And I believe this is perhaps the manifestation of the government failure to counter the rise of Malay nationalists, to the extent that we have to use university and other government agencies to promote the similar themes under the guise of so-called intellectual academic congress. Organizing this such program will only legitimize the ethno-nationalist narrative that Malay are under threat, which gives rise to the question who actually threatening the Malays. I think government basically lost the plot, and they need to pull up themselves together and come up with a more inclusive narrative.
So could you expand on that? You said the government has lost the plot. Now, I'm just wondering, because, Tun Dr. Mahathir officiated this event, what this says about the Pakatan Harapan coalition. I'm not sure that this would have gone down well with a lot of the coalition parties.
Yeah, of course. First of all, I think Mahathir not just criticizing the Malays, which is what he tried to make people believe. But if you go into details, close examining his speech, you'll see that he not only criticizing Malay, he also not addressing the real issue, the structural issues.
Yeah, we also see it. We look at the video clips that we have now. We see the Education Minister Mazli Malik in attendance as well. I mean, is that worrying? I mean, should we be concerned that the Education Minister, is so heavily involved in a Congress that it seems so narrow and, as you put it, not inclusive?
Yes, of course. Mazli Malik should explain himself and how come because for the last few years before being government, he keep criticizing the previous government, using university for political agenda, and now from his nose, he let this kind of thing happen. And I think we need a more inclusive program by the university.
Okay. Well, on that note, Haris, we asked this question to our previous guest, Fuad Rahmat, as well, and I want to get your thoughts on the organicness of the anxiety that's coming out. Do you think that this is essentially UMNO past anxiety coming together at a conference like this, or is it genuinely more generalized?
Well, of course, there is some real sentiment on the ground. They are not happy with the government, their standard of living. But of course, in Malaysia, we explain and articulate things from racial perspective. That's the thing. I think we should address this issue first rather than caught up with nationalist narrative.
Haris, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Lots for us to consider this evening. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for you on this episode of Consider This. I'm Melisa Idris, and with me, Sharaad Kuttan. We will be back same time tomorrow, only on Astro AWANI. Good night.